You just sent a typo to your boss. Maybe you said the wrong name in a meeting. Maybe you laughed at the wrong moment, or stumbled over your words in front of someone whose opinion matters to you. It was small, objectively, completely small. And yet, something inside you detonated. Your chest tightened. Your thoughts started looping. Your body flooded with something that felt less like embarrassment and more like the moments before something terrible happens. And the worst part? You couldn't stop it. You couldn't think your way out of it. The rational part of you knew it didn't matter. But a much older, much darker part of you had already decided that you were in danger. That isn't anxiety. That isn't weakness. That is a glitch built into the architecture of your brain. And it has been running quietly in the background of every mistake you have ever made. Deep inside your skull, behind everything you consider rational and controlled, sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is ancient. It predates language, logic, and everything you think of as you. Its only job, the only job it has ever had, is to scan for threats and trigger survival responses before your conscious mind even knows what happened. In the environment it was designed for, that speed saved lives. If you heard a branch snap in the dark, you did not stop to analyze it. You ran. The ones who paused to think were the ones who got eaten. But that system never learned the difference between a predator and a typo. When your brain registers a social mistake, the amygdala doesn't receive a message that says, minor embarrassment, low priority. It receives a threat signal. And for a brain wired over hundreds of thousands of years, being cast out of a social group was not a bruised ego. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no shelter, no food, no protection. Social rejection and physical danger registered in the same neural territory because, for most of human existence, they were the same thing. So when you make a small mistake in public, your body doesn't produce mild discomfort. It produces cortisol. It produces adrenaline, the same chemical cocktail that floods your system when something is trying to kill you. Your heart accelerates. Your muscles tense. Your digestion pauses. Your body is allocating every resource it has to surviving a situation that, by every modern measure, requires absolutely nothing from it. This is where it becomes more than uncomfortable. This is where the science gets deeply unsettling. Because the moment that survival response activates, the connection between your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, perspective, and rational thought, begins to break down. Researchers call it an amygdala hijack. Your higher brain doesn't go quiet. It goes dark. In that state, you are not capable of thinking your way to calm. The very tool you are reaching for has been temporarily shut off by the part of your brain that decided the situation was too dangerous to wait. And so the loop begins. Your thoughts start accelerating. A typo becomes a reflection of your competence. Your competence becomes your worth. Your worth becomes everything that could be taken from you. Within seconds, a minor social error has been processed by a machine that cannot distinguish it from physical annihilation. And your mind is now in a full catastrophizing spiral over something that, by tomorrow, no one will remember. But you will. Because the brain stores threat memories differently, deeper, more vividly. The amygdala tags emotional danger events for long-term retention because forgetting a threat was fatal. So the embarrassment from 5 years ago feels closer than it should. So criticism lands like an open wound. So a single harsh comment can echo for days, while a dozen kind ones dissolve by morning. Official studies have confirmed what most people quietly suspect, but never say out loud. The brain processes social rejection using some of the same neural pathways as physical pain. This is not metaphor. The overlap is measurable, visible on a scan, reproducible. When someone dismisses you, humiliates you, excludes you, Your brain is not processing social data. It is processing injury. And in the modern world, that system is being triggered constantly. Digital culture has engineered an environment where social evaluation never stops, where your words exist permanently, where rejection can be public, quantified, and replayed. The amygdala was designed for isolated, recoverable moments of social threat. It was not designed for this, for an endless stream of eyes and opinions, and the quiet fear that one wrong move is preserved forever. The chronic low-level activation of that ancient alarm system does not just make you anxious. Over time, it reshapes the brain. It fragments sleep. It erodes the immune system. It makes the threshold for triggering even lower, until ordinary situations begin to feel like they require survival-level responses. Most people never name what is happening to them. They call it overthinking. They call it being too sensitive. They call it a flaw in their personality. They never consider that the real source is not a weakness. It is a mechanism designed for a world that no longer exists, running at full power inside a world it was never meant to navigate. You can learn to recognize the signal. You can learn to name the emotion, which shifts activity back toward the prefrontal cortex. You can learn to tell the amygdala that the typo is not the mountain lion. Some of that works, some of the time, but here is what no one tells you. That system does not want to be corrected. It was built to override you. It was built to be faster than your thoughts, louder than your logic, and more convincing than your reason. It has been doing this longer than the rational brain has existed. So the next time you feel that disproportionate dread creeping in after something small, the heat, the loop, the sense that something is terribly wrong when nothing actually is, you will know exactly what it is. The real question is whether knowing that will be enough to stop it, or whether your brain has already decided.